You should think of our discussion boards as a conversation that we might have in a traditional classroom setting. Here we're going to discuss class objectives with our peers and myself, your instructor, so that we can gain a deeper understanding of the course materials. Some weeks we may be discussing topics like plagiarism, and others we may be analyzing a specific piece of writing and determining what techniques were used or how an argument was made stronger through literary devices. The reason why it's really important that we go beyond the just I agree stage is so that we can all learn from each other. And by this I mean it's okay for you to say good job to your fellow peer, but you need to go beyond and really prove your understanding to me and share your insights and unique perspective on the topic with your peers. Although our discussion board conversations are very informal, it's also important to remember that this is your opportunity to prove your understanding to me. This is where you're going to bring in your personal insight on a topic and also use the text as support to those conclusions that you're making. It's imperative that you include not only your opinions, but like I said, examples from the text or other sources you found online or through the university library to back up your claims. In other words, you need to show why and how you came to the conclusion you came to. Your peer responses, like your initial responses, need to be substantive. You should include 3 main elements in each of your posts to create a substantive post. These include making sure that your post is insightful, thorough, and interesting. You should really work hard to think outside the box with these and really push hard to delve past the surface of the topic that we're discussing. This is going to make our discussion threads a lot funner and more interesting for everybody. It's really important that you thoroughly understand what I mean by insightful, thorough, and interesting. To create an insightful post, you need to really work at responding to each portion of the initial question. You need to discuss it clearly and in depth. It's good to use deductive reasoning when you do this and clearly state your conclusion. It's also important that you support that conclusion with evidence from the text or, as I said before, an outside source. To create a thorough posting, you need to be very accurate and careful in the way you discuss your conclusion. It also needs to completely answer all parts of the question, and that's really important that you don't just skim through that initial post and you really try hard to answer each aspect of the question. To make an interesting post, obviously, keep on task. Make sure that your response is related to the initial question and that you're working to, again, think outside the box so that you can maintain the attention of your reader. You can do this by relating concepts in a different way from the readings, share a personal experience. You can also, like I said, bring in outside sources, and this is a great way to expand our knowledge on the topics we're discussing. This is an example grading rubric for how I determine the credit you will get for each of your response posts. Again, this is just an example based on a 2-point value system. Usually for grammar, mechanics, spelling, sentence structure, I will deduct a minimum of 1/10 of a point if I see even a slight problem with that, and that's just to keep you on your toes and make sure that you're utilizing your editing skills and really taking the time to read through and make sure that your communications are clear. The rest of it's pretty basic and kind of self-explanatory.